right now. If you're holding altcoins, it probably doesn't feel great. Charts look tired, bounces fade quickly, and the excitement that was everywhere a few months ago has almost disappeared. To a lot of people, this looks like the end. But markets don't end when they get quiet. They reset. And that reset phase is the part most traders misunderstand. Altcoins don't move in straight lines. They move in waves of expansion and contraction, hype and exhaustion, greed and boredom. What we're seeing today isn't necessarily death, it's digestion. In this episode, I want to step away from the emotion and look at what this phase really represents. Not what social media is saying, not what headlines are predicting, but what structure, liquidity, and history tell us about where altcoins actually are in the cycle. Because the moments that feel the worst emotionally are often the moments where the next opportunity quietly begins to form. We'll talk about why altcoins always look hopeless before they recover, how to tell the difference between capitulation and accumulation, and what needs to happen before real momentum can return. This isn't about blind optimism. It's about understanding how markets reset before they move again. Altcoins aren't dead. They're resetting. This is memes to markets. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to acknowledge is how this phase feels. Altcoins don't bleed politely. They don't correct in tidy lines. They grind lower, bounce weakly, and make traders question everything. And that emotional pressure is not a bug in the market. It's a feature. Markets reset by exhausting participants. When excitement fades, volume disappears. When volume disappears, confidence disappears. And when confidence disappears, people start calling the entire sector dead. But history shows the same pattern every cycle. The worst sentiment almost always arrives before the next real opportunity. There's a huge difference between an altcoin market that is dying and one that is resetting. Death looks like liquidity permanently leaving, narratives never returning, no new participation. A reset looks like volatility compressing, selling pressure fading, price moving sideways more than down. Right now, many altcoins are not collapsing. They're going quiet. And quiet markets are not empty markets. They're markets where supply and demand are slowly rebalancing. That process is boring, but it's necessary. For altcoins to truly come back to life, three things usually need to happen. First, Bitcoin needs to stop dominating attention. As long as capital is focused on Bitcoin alone, altcoins struggle to breathe. Second, volatility needs to compress. Explosive alt moves rarely start from chaos. They start from boredom. And third, selling pressure needs to exhaust itself. Not through one dramatic candle, but through time. Resets are not single events. They are slow transitions. This is where most traders get confused. Capitulation is loud. Accumulation is quiet. Capitulation feels like panic. Accumulation feels like nothing. If altcoins were truly dying, we would see expanding downside volume, constant new lows, aggressive follow-through selling. Instead, in many cases, we're seeing smaller ranges, failed breakdowns, less emotional reaction that doesn't guarantee upside, but it suggests the market is not in free fall. It's in digestion. The hardest part of any reset is time. Price can be down, but what really hurts is how long nothing happens. People don't just sell because of losses. They sell because of boredom, doubt, and opportunity cost. They convince themselves, Altcoins are finished. Nothing will ever move again. I should have stayed in Bitcoin. And that emotional surrender is often the last ingredient a reset needs. Markets don't reward conviction during excitement. They reward patience during silence. This doesn't mean blindly buying every altcoin. A reset is not a green light. It's a neutral light. The goal in this phase is not aggression. It's observation. Ask better questions. Is selling pressure actually increasing? Or is it just feeling worse because attention is gone? Are breakdowns following through, or are they being reclaimed? Is this pain, or is this process? Those questions matter more than any single prediction. Altcoins aren't dead. They're doing what they always do after excitement fades, resetting. The market is not here to entertain us. It's here to transfer assets from impatience to discipline. If you can survive the quiet phases without forcing trades, you put yourself in position for when real momentum returns. If this helped reframe what you're seeing in altcoins right now, like the video and subscribe for more cycle-aware crypto insights. This is Memes to Markets, and I'll see you in the next one.